What's up, Boulder, Colorado?
I said, let me pray on that. Because he's hilarious, man. Just seeing him with his dance. Oh, that was.
Today, we've got several great news stories for you, so let's get started. Main story today is about Coach Prime putting some coaches of other teams on notice. For those of you who may have missed it, Coach Prime was recently tossing out some strong words for some coaches lying on Colorado. Plus, we're also going to hear what Coach Prime thinks about the media saying controversial things, and then maybe a few other good stories. So grab you a little bit of turtle cheesecake, sit back and get ready, because this is the prime time for college football. Now, our first story today, we're going to talk about what Coach Prime had to say about some other coaches. Recently, Coach Prime was on RG3's YouTube channel and had a lot to say. Now, before I show you the clip, I want to tell you, I saw you guys in the Discord talking about this. And now for the second day in a row, I'm telling you, if you join the Discord, I'll do videos based on what you guys are in there talking about. It's free to join. You can go to the link in the description to get into that group chat. All right, roll that first clip.
I don't rock with it. I don't subscribe to it. Like, I don't allow our coaching staff to ever comment on another school. You don't have to put another school down to put us up. I don't play that. Like, our staff knows.
That's true.
Where you get fired, let me hear you talking about another institution with a kid. Now, kids have recorded conversations from head coaches, not just assistant, head coaches, downing us and selling us out and just talking about us like a dog. And, you know, I would politely just call the head coach, look at man, I don't really know you. I wish the best for you. But be careful, because when these kids bring phones into your meeting room, you're exposed to certain things. I'm not going to put you out there, but just keep my name out your mouth. I've had that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand how you down somebody to stand up. It don't work with me, man. God don't bless like that. He don't bless like that. Yeah, and that's great.
First off, shout out to RG3 here. Please check out his channel. It is so good. The link is down in the description if you want to join it. I'm not surprised, though, that other coaches are caught on recording talking trash about Deion Sanders while they're trying to recruit kids to their colleges. Coach Prime pulls in the media's attention when he coughs or sneezes. Basically, everything he does is a national story. And so many coaches are jealous of this attention. They want that attention for their program and their team and their university. Many coaches are terrified of what Coach Prime will do once he starts winning, and so they act in an unethical way, and they assign staffers to intentionally lie to kids and tear down others. Now, I'll say this. Negative recruiting is not something that's new or just unique to Coach Prime. It's pretty common in our sport. You try to paint other coaches, your rivals, people you're trying to get kids from, you try and paint them in a negative light. Have you ever been dating? If a girl's trying to pick between two guys, maybe you talk a little smack about that other guy so the girl likes you more. That's not uncommon. My kids do that all the time. Hey, Dad, you know what he did? I deserve that extra cookie, not him. But it's one thing to paint somebody in a negative light. It's another thing to get caught on camera, bold-faced, lying to these kids. You see, you can negative recruit. You can talk a little smack about the other side without having to lie to kids. Don't tell me you've got kids' best interest in mind. You care about their futures. You want to develop a relationship. And just like dating, you build that entire thing on a lie. You see, negative recruiting is fine. It happens in college football. I don't think anyone is immune from negative recruiting. But building relationships off of lies because of jealousy is certainly not something that we think people should be doing, especially when it comes to the fact that they're doing this with 16, 17-year-old kids. So we try to keep things positive. We'll move on from this shortly. But what would you guys do if other coaches were lying about your program? Would you have the grace? Would you have the humor that Coach Prime has to laugh it off with RG3? I don't know if I would. I'd hope that in that situation I would. I don't always react the nicest. I'm not always the kindest on some of these things. Let us know what you think about that down in the comments. Next, let's talk about what Coach Prime thinks about the media saying controversial things. Let's listen to that clip.
You talk about, I agree. You should never, I don't think it's like, listen, man, opportunities and whatnot, it's not like a piece of pie, right? If you're great at what you do, you're going to be able to elevate. And when you hit an obstacle, you just got to keep pushing forward, and you're eventually going to hit your breakthrough. You don't got to step on somebody to get to where you're trying to go. Right. And that's where we're at right now in the media. It's everyone's like, listen, my paycheck's more important than that guy I'm talking about or the story that I'm telling. So if I got to say something to fire people up, I'm going to say it because he ain't paying my bills. I got to pay my bills. Well, there's a way to pay the bills without tearing people down and having things attached to their name that shouldn't be attached to their name.
But there's no longevity in that. There's no longevity in that formula of tearing someone down. It's no longevity in that.
And to be honest, Coach, it feels like it's a little bit of the Cat Williams effect right now with what Cat said on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. And now it's not I don't want to say it's now happening more frequently. I just think that when something like that pops up, it's like boom, 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 boom. You just start seeing it go spread like wildfire. Not everybody's trying to do these different things and tear people down in a certain way to try to shine a light on.
So Coach Prime is absolutely right here. So many in the media are doing this. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. We are probably a little bit guilty of this as well, but not in the ways that you might think. But we certainly spice things up a little bit with creative thumbnails, creative titles, but I'm not going to lie to you guys and misrepresent something that belittles someone else. 99% of the stuff that we cover on this channel is positive. We always shine a positive light on Coach Prime and on his program and on his kids, not just his kids, the kids that chose to play for him, his staff, and really the university in general. I've found myself watching more non-Colorado sporting events than ever before in my life, even though Coach Prime has very little to do with those. But though we always have his back, there is a lot of media out there who lives in the swamps, and they love to cover negative stories. People love to tear others down. Just like we talked about with the coaches, the media does the same thing. And Coach Prime is absolutely correct when he says there is no longevity in that form of media. You guys know who does that all the time. Stephen A. Smith just ripped him a new one. But people that do that over and over and over again, and that's all that they base their careers on, just don't last. And unfortunately for them, they usually don't find out about it until it's too late. And so as much as I'd like to pile on and talk bad about them and crap on them and everything else, they kind of find out the hard way. You guys have seen the meme, fool around and find out. We'll keep it kind of G-rated. But that's typically what happens to people who use their platforms to belittle others. Let's lastly talk about what RG3 thinks about the media building coaches up to just tear them down. Listen to that clip finally, too.
That I was told this in 2012 when I first got into the league. They said, you know, the media will build you up to tear you down. And I hate that part of it. And I don't think that it has to be that way. But to your point, a lot of it has turned into that. Yeah. Hey, let's use this guy that's extremely popular, doing great things, and let's try to frame it in a way that if he starts to fall off just a little bit, there's a way for us to attack it and get more clicks. That people love a great story, and then they also love for people to dissect it in a bad way and talk about them in any kind of way. And I just don't rock with that. But I think that you handled it the right way this year.
Now, I want to give RG3 a lot of credit here. RG3 is genuine. And while I've heard him say some wild stuff, you don't hear him throwing people under the bus. If you've ever listened to a game that RG3 has commentated, you know that he can say some crazy, crazy stuff. But it's never bad. He's just genuinely hilarious. And he's absolutely right about the media building people up just to tear them down. We've talked about that with Coach Prime. We told you when we were sitting there at 3-0, we told you to watch out for the media's trap. We told you that they were going to build Colorado up. They were going to hype up this fan base. They were going to hype up the students. They were going to hype up the players. They were going to do all that. just so that later in the year they could tear them down. And we haven't gotten everything right on this channel. I'll admit that. But we nailed that one. When the rubber met the road, that's exactly what ESPN and Fox and a lot of these people out there did. You can't buy what the media says when they love you and then turn them away when they start to talk bad about you. You just need to keep them at arm's length at all times. And that's what I think Coach Prime does. Listen, when his team gets praise, I'm sure he embraces that. I'm sure he's thankful for that. But if you listen to the media's praise one day and then you're just trying to tune out the media's criticism the other day, you're the one that's unstable, not them. But if you just stay even and focus on what's important, focus on the internal and the things you can affect, you'll be a lot better off for it. Hey, I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate you for being part of the channel. Appreciate you guys for watching and always for supporting the prime time for college football.